Hello. It's Friday. Alright, my model has not loaded because VTube Studio crashed. But it's back. Back once again, it's here. It's literally there. And this is today's image. It is an alien glorp. It's based on glorp. And it's here. And this is me. Also, what is this background? This is a very interesting background. It's very abstract, but I'm sure it's a real place. But where? Diatom and plankton blooms in the Chukchi Sea off Alaska. Well, I know it's the ocean. I just don't know where it is, you know? It could be anywhere. But it was, in fact, Alaska. Anyway, welcome Stream Elements. Welcome Namington, Props Not Jack, Slime Molder, Brain Zap. Here you go, Mr. Eldritch, thank you for the subscription. Last Abaka, Wed, Zoe, Glorp emote when, I don't know. What is that, a hype train? Why do they do that? It's like, there's like one sub, and then there were like no other subs, and then now it's like, oh, there's a hype train. Anyway, there is a, I don't know, I guess there's like some kind of Duolingo badge or something you can get. I don't really know the deal. Does anyone care about those badges? Could have waited until tomorrow. You could do it tomorrow also, if you want. Thank you, Slime Molder for the resub. That's 3 years, 36 months. Holy frick, that's 3 years. And Yuyiko, thank you for the 100 bits. I saw Hype Train starting 10 minutes after someone gave 1 gift sub. Yeah, I don't know how it works. It's like sometimes I tune into a stream, someone gifts like 10 gift subs, and then another person gives 10 gift subs, and there's like no hype train. Sometimes someone like subscribes once, and there's a hype train. I don't really know. It's very weird. What are they doing? What are they doing, guys? Twitch.tv. They don't even know. Depends on the channel. Yeah, but it's like even then, I feel like 10 gift subs should have been... Right, you had one person doing 10, another person gifted 5. That should have been like enough, right? You know? I think they actually have random hype trains. It's intentional. Can't believe this. This isn't even enough for the emote. I can't believe it. Derma would constantly have hype trains. You know, Northern Line actually disables hype trains. It was like when it was first announced, and he was like, what the frick is this? And then he turned it off. Which is unfortunate because I'm sure if he had it enabled, I would have had all the hype train emotes. But that is not the case. And therefore I'm not subscribed to Northern Line because there's no reason to. He already has a lot of money. Imagine subscribe, and his emotes aren't even that good. That's right. Lost the opportunity to rant about hype trains for an hour. Yeah, he hates Gritty Goose. Anyway, we're back again with some Game Boy development. Check it out. The title of the stream is Game has a pause menu now. And you're gonna be like, whoa, what the? You're telling me pause? Whoa, look at that. Pause menu. You're telling me that when you pause, the numbers disappear just like in the real picross, so you can't cheat? You can't like look at where you place. And then look at this, the tiles that you placed are still there. They are in fact still there when you pause. And when you unpause, the numbers come back, right? You would not believe how much effort it took to get this to work. It was actually absurd. But I got it. And also, if you go and quit, Now we don't have a puzzle selection menu yet. That might be something I work on this stream, but at the moment it will restart the current level. Yes. And so that's pretty cool. Pause menu, you're telling me there's dogs. Cats also have paws. And yes, there are cats and dogs in this game. There is in fact Choco J Dog. We added that last stream or Monday. That was cool. And look at this. This one, there's a cat right here. The answer to this one is in fact kitten. Yep. There it is. Also, I've adjusted it so that we have an interrupt handler that ensures that sprites are updated even when we're drawing stuff to the screen. That was an issue that I had last time, is when you're drawing a lot of things to the screen and the A button down there would not be updated, but now it is. Look, even as we hide and show things, it's still there. So that's cool. You might be like, how does this work though? How can you possibly overlay something on the Game Boy? Well, on any other system, this would probably be very straightforward. However, the Game Boy is not straightforward. Okay, we don't have extra transparent layers on top. What you have to do is you look at the tile set, right? When we load up the game, we initialize virtual RAM with a visual RAM, I don't know, VRAM, with all the tiles we need. Okay, and then we have these tiles specifically for the pause menu. I will show you the image that I use. I opened up OBS instead. That was a mistake. I did not mean to open up OBS. I meant to open up a sprite, which is right here. IRQ, I don't even know. IRC, what about IRC, guys? Okay, so we are looking at specifically the file known as pause menu. Now you'll note this is just, it's got nothing, right? There's no text on it. And I specifically, at the startup, when we open up the thing, the software, puzzle.c, right here. It's blank, yes. It is in fact blank, and that's because I write the text at startup. So at the start of the thing, okay, let me show you specifically how I have it set up. So we have the tile map. This contains information that gets drawn, right? This determines which tile goes where. You'll notice that we actually replace the tile set at some point. So this is the tile map viewer, right? And we have these things in RAM. These things are in the tile set, but not in the tile map. We have not placed it anywhere. However, when you press the pause button, which is start, it basically goes through and it replaces like these. It'll replace these things with these things. That's kind of what it does. So you'll notice here, it looks exactly the same, and that's because the tile map is the same as what you see, but it's there. But you'll notice, you look at this right here, it tells you the index, 263, right? You look for 263, you'll notice it's nowhere. 263 is nowhere, and yet it's actually this one. This one is 263. Right, so we go to pause menu tile map and we toggle it, right? It's literally there. And that works. That's like pretty straightforward. And then when you untoggle it, it will simply swap them back to the way it used to be. We give it some offsets, we set this one. And that's good. And then, now you might be wondering though, but Wolfie, what about the numbers being hidden? You look at the tile set viewer, and you'll notice that, wait, where's the tile set viewer? I'm pressing the buttons, but it's not showing up. tools, tile viewer. Where's my tile viewer? Guys, where's my tile viewer? It's not even here. It's gone. It's literally, oh, it was hidden. It was hidden. So you'll notice here, right? When the puzzle is active, the tiles have the numbers, right? Because when we start off, we load the nonogram bottom, right? Also, thank you, Ciel. You're too late. You should have been here like 2 minutes ago. You would have gotten the hype train. Well, thank you for the 24 months, though. That is, in fact, 2 years. Welcome, Diego, as well. Yes, you missed it. I can't believe you guys are not coordinating your sub renewals. It's messed up. But thank you, though. But on startup, we're loading this up, right? We load this up into this section right here, and then we draw the numbers. And then when you pause, it will actually replace the tiles. It'll replace all these with what was originally there. And it made a lot of sense. Profanity? What do you mean? Who said profane language? So when you pause, it'll go erase numbers. I forgot what I called it. Hide numbers. Hide numbers. I called it hide numbers, right? And this one is it was actually kind of complicated. It might seem straightforward. You might be like, what the frick is this? Well, originally I had this stuff. It was just this. Okay, I'm gonna show you what it looks like specifically. I'll remove this code. We don't have special handling for this yet. Now, if I remove this and I run it, you'll notice that when I pause, some very strange things happen. You're like, what the frick? What happened there? I think it's probably more noticeable if I go to like a later level. Let's go to main.c. Let's go to level, what level is it? What level is the Chocoj dog? Puzzle. It's level 7, but it's actually level 6 because it's 0 index. So we go to 0, we go to 6, and we start it over. Right, so it's loaded. You're like, what the? This stuff didn't even get updated. That's messed up. And also what happened here at the top? Well, good question. It's actually not that straightforward to just load this stuff back. Because when we first load up the game, we set up this this interrupts thing, this thing up here. Remember when I mentioned that the way that Mario Picross does it is that it draws the first however many tiles and then it switches addressing modes and then draws the rest of it. And since the game is already running, we can't easily do that without there being visible artifacts. And so you can't just call set background tile, right? Normally you would just do set BKG tiles or whatever, set BKG data, but you can't do that, okay? And the reason why, because it would cause visual artifacts. So since the game is already in view, you have to use set data. And then this will depend on where you're updating it. And so you'll notice this stuff did not get updated and this stuff did. And the reason for that is that when we go back here, when we try to just write into memory, right? We start off from here and we copy, we're basically copying this set of tiles from ROM into VRAM. However, due to the way that the addressing mode wraps around, anything past 128, which I believe is this one right here, this one is tile 128. Now you'll be like, hey, that looks familiar, right? It's literally this. When it wraps around, it actually writes to the the other part of memory. Right, you'll notice this is tile 127, I think. And then anything after this, it actually goes even past. In this region of memory, past this point is where they put the tile map data. And so when we're copying this stuff, just from this offset, it'll copy to another part of memory that should not be written to. at least from this function, when instead we wanted to wrap around back here. You'll notice this stuff did not get updated. And that's because we didn't set up various logic. And so that's why I have this thing here. I check if the current offset is less than 128, and then if you add 6 to it, you'll be like, what is 6 for? Well, 6 is simply this. It is this number of tiles we're copying from here to here, right? That is 6 tiles. And then we're checking if you copy from there to there, and then it surpasses 128. Then you need some extra logic. We go like one tile at a time to avoid writing many of them, right? Usually we'll just copy 6 tiles at a time. Now we only copy 1. You're like, what is this thing? Because then this is a clever thing that you can do to wrap it around. Because people that are familiar with signed and unsigned integers, especially 8-bit integers, after 127, it goes to negative 128. And that's how you do it. That's how the Game Boy does things. Once it goes past this thing, it actually does numerical underflow, I guess overflow, and it goes negative, and then it writes to here. But due to the way this stuff is set up, we can't do that. But now we can. Now it's there. Also, welcome Pork Crew. And now you understand everything there is to know about the Game Boy. And now it works. It literally works. Welcome Crystal Mess 323. What were you up to? Were you doing software development? Yes! Let's go. I hope whatever it was you were developing, that it went well, and if there were any bugs, that you have fixed the bugs. I just went over explaining a lot of things about how I set up this number hiding mechanism. How much effort to run this code? It's so simple. You just have to download Bazel. You don't even need to have Asprite installed, because I've written a Rust program that will parse the Asprite files for you. You don't even need Asprite. So that's cool, right? I think I didn't really test this for large puzzles. I feel like I should hide the pause menu before I show the numbers, so we can make one small adjustment. Basil, what about cilantro? You're always doing this, man. Basil, what if it was basil? Do you all pronounce it basil or basil? As in like the vegetable. Basil? Basil, it could be both. Basil, perhaps. Brazil, that's so different. Basil, I've got Thai basil chicken. Yes, that is true. It is quite important. Chicken is an important aspect of game development. Basil for people. Do you know anyone named Basil? Twins Basil? Fresh grown chicken basil? Anyone basilin? There is a city in Switzerland named Basel. Yeah, but that's spelled differently though. It's like, it's so different. You can't even expect it to be pronounced the same way. But it might be. Anyway, okay, so we're looking for toggle, what did I call it? Toggle pause menu, of course, of course. So I should actually, before I hide the numbers, I should, oh, I think the reason why I didn't do that is because if I had this down here instead, I think the cursor shows up before it should. I think, maybe. Let me try it. Yeah, because now that cursor shows up back there. Okay, but what if I didn't do that? What if you simply had what? What even? What even? Toggle pause menu. If we had this here, we hide the numbers and then we hide the pause menu. Why do I need to hide the numbers though? Because then people can cheat. That's how every other game does it. If you check Mario's Picross, it does it like that. If you check Jupiter's Picross games, they hide the numbers. You can't have people cheating. It's illegal. Cheat with the timer. Exactly. It's important. You know, you could look and be like, oh, I'm gonna pause it, and then be like, oh, look, there's actually there's like a 5 right there, and there's a 5. If they really wanted to cheat, they'll have to like write down the numbers or screenshot it or whatever. If I wanted to cheat the timer, I could just screenshot the game. Yeah, but that's more effort, okay? You can't prevent people from doing things outside the game, but you can try to prevent the inside. And also it looks good, right? Doesn't this look nice? I think it looks good. And look, the numbers come back. That wasn't even intentional. It's just due to how slow it renders things. It just happens naturally. Isn't that cool? Whoa, it adds artificial delay. But okay, so I had it so that we hide the numbers and then we show the numbers and then we do. Maybe I should separate these. We should have like if not show. We put this one at the end because we want to hide the menu before showing the numbers. But then if we're showing the pause menu, the pause menu should just be there. Welcome, your turn. Golf is gritty. It's not real. It's not even. Oh, but then look at that. That graphic. This thing did not get hidden. I think that should not be there. Oh, you know what? What I should do. I should simply just hide sprites. And then after it's done, that's when you show the sprites. I think that would be the cleaner option here. In my opinion, in my onion. Look at this. Oh wait, there's some flickering. Do you see that? What was that about? What was that about? Guys, you can't have that. Hide numbers, draw numbers. What the frick? Someone texted me. A spam message has texted me. What is this? Political advertisements? I've been getting political advertisements from people running for mayor. They're like, hey, vote for me. I'm gonna be the mayor. These are my opponents, and they have said these things. That's why you shouldn't vote for them. But actually, when they said the thing that the other person did, I'm like, that's based, actually. It makes me want to vote for them even more. You're like, my opponents did this, and I go, that's actually pretty nice. I think that's pretty cool. It does the opposite of what they want. Got hacked? No. It's not even possible. Wait, so maybe I don't want that. Maybe we do still have if not show. We should get free pizza every Friday. Special election in California. Is there a regular election? Why is it so special, huh? What does it even mean for a special election? Actually, can I read you what the the message said? It said, hey, I'm running for mayor. Here's what my opponents did. And then he said, one of them is proudly anti-police. It actually it brought him joy to see police officers cry, and he won't apologize. And I'm like, that's fine, actually, because I'm not a fan of the police. I'm sure a lot of people saw that and they're like, oh, that's great. That actually convinces me to vote for him even more, right? I don't know. Emergency gerrymandering. That's Tom and Jerry. That's the cartoon with the rat. Sorry, he's a mouse, not a rat. You can't be calling Jerry a rat. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make that mistake. Anyone else taking joy? What is that? What does that mean? Calling Jerry a man? Durr. Mandurr. Remember Mandark from Dexter? Dexter, the show about the serial murderer? They had Mandark. Dee Dee was there. And Dexter was like, Dee Dee, get out of my laboratory. And then, and then that guy is like, I know you're a murderer, but I can't prove it. Isn't he the evil classmate guy? I don't know. Yeah, Mandark? Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. That was his laugh. It was actually very memorable. I remember the episode when Dexter went to Japan. And it was like Go Dexter Family Go. Remember that one? And then they had like a robot, a giant robot that they drove. That was cool. Guys, wasn't that cool? I remember. Time traveling movie. I don't even remember that one. I didn't have cable. I saw a few moments at my friend's house. I don't think you missed that much, actually. Is this Dexter the serial killer or the kid? I think they're both the same, right? Didn't Dexter the scientist grow up to be the serial killer? That's what the show is about, right? And then Mandark is there, and he's like laughing. I don't know. I don't really know Dexter. Yeah, it was the prequel. He started killing people. Can someone confirm? Does anyone know? Anyone familiar with the lore of Dexter? I've never watched it. I only know Dexter the kid, so I don't get any of it. Welcome solely. Yeah, I think he went around killing people at some point. What happened to Dee Dee? Is she in the new Dexter? Do we know what happened to her? It's like a kid with the lab. Yeah, the kid with the lab. Welcome Hamflow. He murdered. Oh, that's what he. Oh, okay. It probably happened in the first episode or something. I don't know. I don't really watch, TV, so I don't know. You remember the episode where they had worms and plastic minnows? Remember that one? I don't remember and Omelette du fromage. Remember that one? When Dexter listened to a French cassette tape for, overnight, but it got stuck. I can't even talk. It got stuck, and then it kept repeating Omelette du fromage. Welcome Stove Gun. Omelette du fromage. Everyone knows, that's the only French that I knew. I remember that, right? It was a classic. Can we look up, instead of programming, classic Dexter episodes? The cartoon specifically, not the murder. Okay, well, all right, fine. Cartoon. Dexter's Lab. Oh, when he was old? Oh my god. Watch full episodes. Remember this one? Wasn't he just dreaming that though? He didn't actually... List of Dexter's Lab episodes. Is this spoilers? Back to the lab. Yeah, that was a song. Can we, is there no, articles about this? It's just, watch the full video or whatever? Time traveling stuff was episodes. Yeah, I don't think there was a Dexter movie, from what I can remember. Best Dexter's Lab episodes. Wait, it only had 4 seasons? What the... Best episode ranked. If anyone is tuning in for software development, I'm sorry. Where Dexter's rival, Mandarker, Mom and Jerry. It was pretty popular. Oh yeah, this monkey dude. Remember this monkey? There was an episode that was written by a fan sending in a tape. Oh yeah, and then they drew it. Cartoon style. That was cool. I mean, I guess it is a cartoon, but yeah. And then they had the voice acting was kind of stilted on purpose. 9/11. What the? It was by a child. No, I want an actual article, not just a. What about this one? Oh yeah, remember the computer? Wait, this was the kid show, right? This was the one that the kid wrote? Yeah, this is a 6.5-year-old fan sent it in. I remember. A lot of good episodes. Hamflow reference? Oh yeah, when his dad's arm had to be replaced, he replaced his dad's arm with something. I don't remember this one. What is this? Welcome Orfish. Yeah, Ham is in the show. Yeah, isn't this one the Go Dexter Family Go? No, this was a different one. Oh no, was it? No, I don't know. Yeah, this is the only do fromage. How does it feel to peak at 60? What do you think that kid's doing now? Do you think they were like, they tell all their friends? Okay, they're probably like old now, but like at the time, they're like, oh, I was the one who wrote in for this episode. And then what do you think they're doing? Are they like a software developer, you know? You think they're like, I don't even know. Making cartoons? Playing Uma Musume? The Muffin King. Ice Cream Scream? I don't remember this one. What if they're not even around? What if they died? I can't believe you would even suggest this. Welcome, Tag Barrel. They look like Dexter. What if they became the murderer? Yeah, they could be a VTuber as well. Wonder what the Axe Cop kid is. I don't even know who that is. Anyway, good times. Good times. We could look at some on the list. A bunch of them. A bunch of episodes here. That's like all the episodes. Did Dexter have a last name? Laboratory? His last name was Laboratory. Saying you wrote a Dexter episode as a kid is a good combo starter. Yeah, and then they'd be like, oh, the murderer? you wrote an episode for the murderer show? Morgan, welcome Infinite Zero. Axe Cop was a collab between an artist and his nephew, who was 5 when it started. I've never heard of it. The one Dexter scene with those 2 robots singing or riding that hog? I don't remember. Remember the Speed Racer episode? Wasn't there one where he was like, it was a reference to Speed Racer? I don't know. Dexter, I hardly even am aware of what that is. I got an unlimited data plan, about to go to REI. I don't know what that is. From Evangelion? You're gonna go to Evangelion? Welcome, Altscott. Do you have a favorite Dexter episode? Are you fans of Dexter? Dexter, that's the murderer guy. You know what's funny? When a serial killer is named Dexter instead of Sinister? What about Strength-ter? What about Faith-ter? Endurance-ter? The original Dexter? Yeah, whichever one. You can mention the murderer show, you can mention the laboratory show. You can mention, whatever. Sinisty? No, that's a different, that's a Pokemon. That's the guy who speedruns Punch-Out! Or whatever. I found the 6-year-old from Dexter, he's an opera singer now. Wait, can we confirm this? How do you find that? What happened to the kid who wrote a Dexter Lab episode? He loses his emotion. Are you doing the Game Jam game where the theme is Dexter? No, I don't remember how this came up. It somehow came up. Oh, look, there is an article about it. Sorry, an article, I mean Wikipedia article. Fandom article. They doxed him. Tyler Samuel Lee, born 10th of November 1990. Oh yeah, this was him. I remember this. He's one of the only fans in entertainment history to have ever written an episode for an official production, as otherwise they're prohibited for legal reasons. Tiny Toons Adventure, Ren and Stimpy. They dox his mother as well. Tyler's mother. Helped his son record the episode. Oh yeah, I remember that. Wait, but it didn't say what he's doing now though. How do you get that he was an opera singer? Oh, you looked up his name? Can we like look up this kid's name? Is that him? It's him right there. He was credited on IMDb. Holy. He was Mandark's voice, the narrator. Find his LinkedIn. Yeah, everyone find it. Look at it. Reddit. Check celebrity. No, let's not stalk this man. You can if you want to. I mean, like, his info's all out there. You were stalking his Instagram? Alright. Well, I'm not going to do that on stream. If you want to do that, you can do it. But I will not. But feel free. Like, oh, streamer encourages his viewers to find personal information about this. I was going to say child, but he's not a child anymore. He's literally older than me. But at some point he was a child, okay? Off topic and completely theoretical. Would I care if someone made a mod for Vacuous Sugar Quest? I would care in the sense that I think it would be cool. If you mean if I care as in would I allow it? Yes, I would allow it. But I'm gonna make Vacuous Sugar Quest 2. What if I made VSQ 2? His Instagram is full of Dexter stuff. He was not trying to hide it. Oh, okay. Well, then that's good then. Now you can all look up his information. At some point, everyone was a child. That's not true. It's not true. Some people died before they had the chance to do that. Welcome to Panis in Hongtown Deluxe. Find their LinkedIn, leave them a review. Excellent writer and visionary. Yeah. How recent was their most recent Instagram post though? I don't know. So I don't know how to stop this flickering. Not sure specifically what to do, because I thought that by hiding sprites it would have done it. But it did not, guys. It did not do it. Why is it doing that? You notice that? What's it doing? Use an LCD made in 1989. No, it would do that. Do that there. Oh, I think I need to, okay, I need to do this. I need to set the state here. Right, this needs to be here. And then this needs to be here. I think that would do it. I believe that is the case here. Nope. You did not. You still see there's like a little bit of flickering. Isn't it impressive though that the Game Boy runs at 60 frames per second? Right, that was like, that's crazy. How did they do that? That's like so fast. Does it? Yeah, it does. It actually does. Well, okay, you can be like, actually streamer, it runs at 57, it runs at 59 point whatever, but then on the Game Boy Color it runs at 61. Game Boy frame rate. Almost. Okay, it's almost 60 FPS. It was like, it's more like, okay, can we check the Game Boy Pandox? I believe it runs at 59.7 something. And then if you play on the Super Game Boy, it runs like 62 or something. I don't know. We look up, what was the signal called? The V blank? The V blank interrupts. 59.7. Yes. But then what about the Super Game Boy though? Timer and divider registers. Okay, here we go. Frequency, well, this is not what I want. Did Game Boy Color run at 60? It was like 50, it was like 60 something. Super Game Boy's Night Core, it goes really fast. I'm visualizing my old Game Boy in my head. I can't recall the frame rate playing Pokemon. Oh yeah, because Pokemon is not, it's like mostly static images, right? It's not a very fast-paced game. But it does refresh at 60 FPS. It's mainly used in shadows, fast animations, flickering, even odd. Interrupts. How can we check? 59. 59.7. There we go. 61.1 times on a Super Game Boy. 59.7 on a DMG. Oh, okay, so the Game Boy Color was the same frame rate. 59.7. The Super Game Boy was 61.1. Welcome, Old Man Diabetes. Wondered how SGB works on PAL machines. I don't even know. But look, doesn't this look so smooth though? This cursor moving around. I wouldn't be so pedantic as to call 60 different from 59 or 61 in casual conversation. But why not though? You could be correct. You could even be more correct. Okay, so show hide sprites. Okay, what if we did hide sprites after? No, okay, we can't do it. We can't do that. It has to be this. Okay, let's see if that removes the flickering. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Nope, it's still there. Why is that? Why would they do that? Hide sprites should always be there. The eye sees at 60 frames per second, it doesn't keep the right integer scaling. Maybe true. Yeah, I feel like I can't really tell too much of a difference between things that are higher than 60 FPS. I mean, I also don't have a monitor that's capable of, like, outputting more than 60, so maybe that's why. But I don't know. I feel like I would not know. But maybe that's wrong. What if we did this? Maybe this is it. Seeing 60 to 75 is a big jump. Human eye can't even see more than 9. That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's what fixed it. I need to set the state before I hide the numbers. So actually we could do this. State equals show question mark state pause state puzzle. And then, oh no, but I need to do this anyway. So whatever, we don't need that. It's fine. You do this. You hide the sprites. You set this thing, and then at the very end, if not show, then you draw the numbers. Right? And that looks pretty smooth to me. I wish there was a way to make this faster, but I don't know if that's possible. Because it has to wait. It has to wait for the V blank. Or the H blank. Okay, I'm gonna commit this. Asset dog.png. Well, if he only streams at 60 FPS. Does the Game Boy have a standard refresh rate? Well, good question. I believe it may be this. The page that we have open right now. It's possible. Okay, so let's set the level back to 0. Git commit. Hide menu, hide pause menu before drawing numbers. Okay, so what am I doing today though? What am I doing today? I think one thing that I should have is obviously a select screen, you know? It's not normal for games to games of picross to start off linearly. The user can usually choose where to go. Right, they can be like, I want to go to level 5. I would like to go to level 20. Right, so maybe we can do that. Did I already show how you always have a solvable puzzle? Yes, there's a website that you can put the image on, and it will tell you. Yes, a website. I forgot the name of the website. Picross monogram. This one. Which website? This one, obviously. I had shown this many a times last stream on Monday. Or maybe on Friday. I don't remember. One of those days. You basically take an image and you put it on the website. Sorry. You go to generate from image. Dog.png. Okay, that's messed up though, because it has to be 15 by 15. And then you gotta do it again. Right, this thing. Now it's like you can solve this image. This 5 by 5 doesn't seem solvable without hints. This one, no, why not? What do you mean? You got 5, so 4 has to go there, right? And then what? Obviously this 2 is done, right? This 2, these are all done. These are literally all done. And this one, no, actually, no. And then this 1 has to go there because that's the only option. And then it's like this. I thought you were generating solvable picross puzzles on the fly. Why would you think that? What in this process made you think that I was doing such a thing? Because I would never do it. Why not? Because the joy of picross a lot of the time is figuring out what something is. And then at the end, it tells you what it is, and you're like, oh, okay, I can see how that's, whatever this thing is. Solving picross puzzles is literally impossible. It's very possible. Also, I think another limitation of this one is that you cannot have more than 6 numbers. So you cannot have a puzzle that is kind of like, for example, many 1s after one another. Right? If I were to simply describe what I mean by this, you can't have a puzzle that's like this. Whoops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? You can't have that because then the number would go off, right? We don't have enough space for that. You could be like, well, you can have 7, but like, we don't have the tiles for that. Right? So the limit, it has to be maximum of 6 islands or whatever. If 1 tiles solvable 5 by... If 1 tiles solvable 5 by 5 picross puzzles, is the resulting larger puzzle still solvable? No. No, that's not true. It's not necessarily true. Well, I'm not sure why it would be though. Never played picross, I have no idea what the rules are. Man, you guys don't even know. I've explained it a billion times. Back in the day, remember back in the day when I would play picross? You basically have numbers. And those numbers indicate separation between filled tiles. So this must be a 5. Also, do you hear the ice cream truck? George Gershwin, did he really win though? If I've never heard of him. Back in the day on Tuesday, no, it was like Mondays and Fridays. I haven't played picross in 1.5 years. I literally did it on Monday. Didn't I like make this Choco J dog on Monday? Or was that on Friday? I think it was on Friday. What did I do on Monday when I streamed this? Monday. No, yeah, Monday is when I worked on, when I added the Choco J dog puzzle. Look up every ice cream truck. Object permanence. No. But basically, you know, this 2 tells you that there must be 2 filled things in a row. Right, it could be here, it could be here. But it cannot be here, because that'd be a 1-1. You can't have that. Right, so it could be here, but then you can cross these off, because you're like, it can't possibly be there, right? the 5, and then the 2 and the 1, right? Lot of possible options, you know, a lot of things that you gotta think about. You can picross them off. Yeah, that's why they call it picross. You're understanding immediately. And then you have various solutions. Anyway, so what am I doing today? I'm gonna maybe add a menu, a puzzle selection menu. Now there are many ways that you could do it, right? I think the classic way of doing it is you basically have it's like this, right? You just have, here's your puzzle, here's like another one, here's another one, and then you have a cursor that you go and you choose, right? That's the most obvious one. And then like if you solved it, it'll have like the image in here. It'll be like, oh look, this one's a dog or whatever. This one's a smiley face. If you've not solved it, it's either blank or a question mark or whatever. So I could consider doing that. Possibly. I think that's probably, you know, that's probably the way to go. But what if we considered alternatives, you know? Would there be an alternative style? Well, good question. If you look at Mario's Picross, I believe they did not actually show you what the images look like. What the frick is it? What's going on here? They specifically had it so that it was just like a bunch of check marks, one after the other. For some reason I cannot find an image on Google for this, but it's there somewhere. Where is it? Guys, why don't they have my results today? Okay, here it is. Mario's Picross had a level select that looked like this. I think because it was like easier to implement on Game Boy, and it could show you maximum information. I think Mario's Super Picross had the thing that I described. It looked like this. Now I feel like this one's better, you know, because you can see immediately what it is. And maybe that's what I'll implement. I will consider doing it this way. The question is, what goes in this box though? What is this box? Oh, is that the large image? Okay, so this gives you the monochrome image, and then up here it gives you the presumably colored image. I could consider doing that. And then I think it also tells you like how quickly you solved it, and other such things, perhaps. I don't know. So okay, let's make something. Let's make a new thing. We'll call it level select. And specifically, what is the Game Boy's resolution? Game Boy resolution. It's like 160 by 144, right? Yep. Okay, so let's make a new one. New document. 160 by 144. And then you have to make sure that you load the Game Boy palette. This one. And then you set various properties. Grid settings, grid width, grid height. Is 8. You need a 1600 by 1440 screen. Exactly. Now here's the thing though, you don't actually have enough tiles on the Game Boy to show all of these as unique tiles. So the way that we've done it in our game, this is why these tiles down here, this is why we have side tiles, because it reduces your tile count. If we had included every single tile here, we would not have had enough. Right, it would go up to here, and that's not enough, right? That's like I mean, technically it is enough. It actually is enough, but you don't want to be using all your memory for just side decorations. What did they call the Game Boy? That's in fact not what they called it. I believe it was still called the Game Boy. I believe the word you used has other connotations that are not what you want. I don't need my memory. But what if you did though? What if you did need you? I should also drink water. It is in fact 6 p.m. I have not really done anything in the first hour of this stream, but I'm gonna drink water. Alright. It's amazing that people make anything work inside 8K of RAM. Exactly. But you think about it, 8K is kind of a lot though. Like, think about how much that is. I feel like the limitation was mostly around like the CPU. Right? I guess there were also other things. Meant to write game shonen? Well, that makes more sense. The word you used is the totally different word. Which is kind of weird how recently they integrated with English-speaking countries. They went hard on integrating English words. The Game Boy. What about the game girl? Huh? What about the game non-binary individual? Have we considered this? Okay, so I'm actually gonna crop this slightly. The game girl is a thing. Is it YouTube? Video cannot be monetized. They've decided that my video from April cannot be monetized, which it already wasn't. Do you know that I disable ads on all my YouTube videos? It's true. Apparently I can't monetize it. Oh man. Is it legal to mention the Switch in this joking context? What do you mean? What are you talking about? That's not what that means. Sprite properties. Okay, this one, canvas size, sprite size. Here we go. Play individual. There's people that are not individuals though. Gender identity, but I feel like Switch is not really like a gender thing, isn't it? It's like a different thing. I don't know. I mean, you can switch your gender, but that's usually not what they refer as trans, right? It's like a different thing. Okay, with pixel size. Okay, this is gonna be. You know, you can do math in here. You can just do -8. You can just do -16. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, and then okay, let's make a mock-up of what the menu would look like. So we would have various squares out here. Question is, how many? And how do I make this look nice? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. Okay, so what if we had this thing up here? And this thing could show like a timer. This could show you like if you've selected something, how long it took. It could also have like the title up here or something, maybe. And then maybe down here, you'll have the grid that has your puzzle on it. And specifically, as we know, the largest puzzle is 15 by 15. We know that this here is 16 by 16, so we can expand it by 1. and then the image can be drawn specifically in this 15 by 15. However, though, you'll have to think that also not every puzzle is 15 by 15. Some of them are 5 by 5. Now a 5 by 5 puzzle could be scaled up 3 times, and that would fit into a 15 by 15. But then a 10 by 10, it would end up having a border, which is weird. So maybe we can make these boxes 30 by 30, but then I'm like, is that too much? No, there's no 20 by 20. You cannot fit a 20 by 20 on a Game Boy. What if you made a 160 by 144 puzzle? That's impossible. Literally impossible. Okay, so what if instead we simply had a 30 by 30, but then as we're showing the images, we can expand them. So that would require a 32 by 32 right here. That means you can't really show that many on the screen though. It also might be kind of slow to render them. So with this one, you could show this many. That's only 6 of them. Okay, let's not do that. We could have this here. We're fine with the 10 by 10 having empty space around it, right? This is our level select menu. So with this one, you have this one here. You can probably show at least 10 of them. What if you had like some borders around it? It could be simply like this. Right, that fits nicely. Okay, you could fit a lot on here actually. The question is, do we want to though? Do we want to show this many? Are we even gonna have this many? I don't know. I feel that's good enough, right? That's plenty of levels. And then you could have something down here. I don't know. I don't know what you would have down there. What did Mario Super Picross do? They had, okay, they also had, they actually had fewer. They had 4 by 3. Would I consider having a 4 by 3? I mean, this is quite a lot. It may also be kind of hard to see. They had the Wah Picross levels. They did have Wario. 20 by 20 Game Boy? No. You want more than 15? No, this is just one page though. I mean, obviously, you know, Mario's Picross did not only have 12 puzzles. This is one screen. There's going to be like next and previous, you know, as usual. Okay, like a thing over here. We will never get 69 by 420. But what if you did though? I'm sure someone has done it somewhere. But this is quite a lot of tiles though. How many is this? This is 323 tiles. How many do we have here? 323. Okay, so we can probably... The bottom could just be decoration, right? We could have some decorative elements down here. And then like this stuff is also decorative. So we could have like two tiles of padding on the left and right. And then at the top you could have, you know, this could be the drawable region. And then what? And then you just crop this. This is all you really need. Maybe. Sprite crop. And then maybe you want to move this up a little bit. No, it's fine. I think it's fine. What if you enter a secret area in Deltarune? I don't really know what? Deltarune? How did Deltarune come up? Okay, this one's gonna be called puzzle select. What do I call this? Select menu. Level select. Level underscore select. .asprite. Are nonograms like the nonary games? I do not know what that is actually. Nonary? Isn't that where the sisters live? The religious Catholicism. I was thinking of picross games on alternate platforms where you can render more pixels. But this is the Game Boy now. I can't have a Game Boy game switch platforms. A Deltarune, that you know that's an anagram for Rune Factory? I did not know. Rayman Picross? Is he saying 69 by 420 Picross? Yeah, but I can't do that though. That's not even a thing that I could do. Okay, let's go assets build, not Basil. Thank you, Michael, for the 18 months. Who is Ross and why does he get picked so much? Michael, we've made this joke so many times. It's Ross from Friends, and you're like, pick Ross? Yeah, that's what Rachel did. That's like the 100th time we talked about this. If you had been here, you would have known. And yet, he was not even around. Can you believe this guy? Get a load of this guy. That's the guy who said, get a load of this guy. Ross? Anyone remember Ross from Friends? No, that's right. No one remembers, because he's bad. Bad man. Was he? I don't know. He doesn't even know, dude. Actually never watched Friends. You don't even know the classics such as Joey and the Smelly Cat and the other guys. Joey got the spin-off show. He sure did. You can pick your friends, you can pick your Ross, you can't pick your friends Ross. Why not though? What's stopping you, huh? What is preventing you from picking your friends Ross? Level select dot C. Level select dot H. I was too busy watching anime when the show was on. Which anime though? Which anime would you say is better than Friends? A lot of them probably. It's rude, but what if you ask for permission though? Get a load of this guy? That's what they say at the blood bank? That doesn't make sense. That's the other bank. Cardcaptor Sakura is better than Friends. Most of them I didn't like Friends much. What? What about the episode where yeah. What about the most classic Friends episode? Like the one where Joey sees like cake on the floor and he pulls out like a fork and he says, "What are we eating, guys?" Remember that one? Everyone's like, "Oh man, it's crazy." Wolfie, are you gonna put this game on a Game Boy cartridge and sell it? It's gonna be free, but if people want to put it on a cartridge, you can feel free to do so. What about the episode where Pecora got a monkey? That was not in Friends. That was real. The largest friend eats the other five? Yeah, that also happened. English teaching schools around here always use Friends episodes to teach the language. Oh, which one though? Which one is the most classic episode? Does your game still do the thing where it automatically fills in rows with 15 or 0? Only 0. If it's a 15, you have to do it manually. I could also just remove it. I could also make it an option. But I don't know. Adding options is so much effort though. Where Joey lies, I remember that one. What about the Friends episode where they want soup, but the soup seller says no soup? That's Seinfeld. It's a different show. Will you draw a drawing for people to put on their Game Boy cartridges? Like how cartridges have covers. I could consider it. I mean, it'll probably have a title screen. Although I guess they don't usually just use the title screen, because like the title screen has to be 4 colors or fewer. Whereas the box art could be anything. That Friends episode where Kramer bursts into the room, yells, "Jerry, I've got a new idea," and George looks confused. I remember that one. And then he gets canceled for being a racist stand-up comedian. Remember that one? Oh man. He never recovered from that. What was bro thinking? 2000s. Welcome, Tafe. Game has a pause menu? No way. What the? Okay, we have assets. What do we call this? Level select? Okay. So let's work on our level select logic. Go to main.h, we add a new game state. It's going to be game level select. Welcome to Tracers. Now I'm going to say level select should be 0. And game puzzle should be after. And then in main, you start off here. You do game level select update. Now this function does not exist yet. Keep in mind this level does not exist. But it will. It will exist. So we go here, we go paste this in here. You gotta have the if and def, or whatever. It's gonna be level select. And then you gotta have the end if with the comment underscore level select. Now I also noticed that this is wrong. This used to be called levels.h, it's actually puzzle.h. Whoops. Nothing but nested if else. That's literally all software development. If and def is such a classic. What about undef though? You ever see undef? I define something and then immediately undefine it just to give it a shorter name. Welcome, Chocojax. Glorp. Yep. It's there. What about select or switch groups? Yo, wait, Choco, you gotta look at the Choco J dog. Look at that. It's in the game. It's literally a puzzle in the game that you can solve for real. I was solving it yesterday, and it took me, I believe, less than 4 minutes. Can't wait to solve it. No, you're not gonna play this. You don't even know Picross. It took me 3 minutes and 43 seconds to solve that one. It's in the game. Is it though? When are you gonna play Picross? On stream though. When? Everyone's like, Choco, when are you playing Picross? I would love to see you play Picross. Oh man, I can't believe. Looking forward to the Choco Jacks picross stream. Streamer assuming chat member doesn't have the knowledge. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for assuming you did not know how to play. Okay, we're making a level select screen. Okay, level select update. Level select init as well. British people be like level select init. Am I right, guys? They do say that. +2. Thank you. When you're assuming, you can't say that. Hashtag include. Anyone say hashtag include? It's actually pound include. For those of you who know. Okay, so level select init. You gotta be calling level select init. You gotta go to your main function. And then you gotta do level select init. Before assuming, think about how Yao Ming would feel. You and Ming, true. Anyone here a C knower? Anyone know anything? Pound include. What did they even do? We got level select init, okay, and then go here, right? So when we initialize, we gotta copy things from memory, from ROM. Include assets slash level select .h. So then when you initialize the level though, we gotta have similar functions for various things. I think what I should do, we're gonna have we're gonna copy this large array, right? Instead of puzzle tile map, it's going to be level select tile map. And you also have to include hardware gb slash hardware.h. Turns pages, the C programming language. You know that I have a signed copy of the C programming language from Kernighan when he visited my school. For the longest time I thought his name was Kerningham. It was actually Kernighan. When he was signing my book, he was like, what should I write? And I said, I don't know. And then he just said, okay, what about Hello World? And I said, that sounds good. Second edition, I don't remember, probably. The C programming language. One of these. This one. Those ones. One of these. Is that because he used poor kerning? Kernighan? Maybe. Do you tell him C is your favorite? I did not say anything about any of this. I've not read the book since I was in college. Even when I was in college, I don't think I really read it. I just did not know. I simply just did not know, though. I just lacked information thereof. Okay, so what is this going to be? The level select tile map. This thing right here. This is our level select tile map. So tile 1 is going to tile 1. Isn't that the streamer? Tile 1, the guy. Okay, we gotta have top. Okay, there's gonna be one for specifically or the top one. We don't really need it at the moment. The guy with the dent, yeah, tile 1. Imagine if you'd said I prefer JavaScript, just immediately lose all respect. That'd be such a mean thing to do, though. I mean, like, I feel like he wouldn't care, because, like, you know, programmers, like, he didn't write the language, he just wrote the book, right? Did he write the language? I don't think he wrote the language. He wrote the book. But, you know, you can tell people you prefer different languages. Richie wrote the language? Okay. TBH JavaScript is kind of fun. In a messed up way. I think JavaScript is fine. TypeScript though, TypeScript is good. It's a good language. Malbold. Favorite esoteric language. Okay, we're gonna do some defines here. Check this out. Bam. Top is going to be level select tiles. Frame tile count. Tile count. And then all of this is going to be top. Oh no, think of the alignment, guys. How are we even going to align this nicely? You can't. You actually can't. Probably some way to do it. I don't know. So we have this one here, and then what? Then you have left and right. This is going to be the same for now, just because that makes it simpler. When you say that you are define, but it's not actually okay. Define me when it's not actually fine. No, guys. What has he done? What is he doing? Okay, then you copy this one as well. Then you probably just want to write a script that generates this for you. Or you might want to put this in like a tile editor rather than doing this like this. But that's like so much though. That's so much effort. You expect me to put effort into this? Okay, Python 3 for what are we doing? 0. How do you do ranges in Python? I've not really done too much Python. Python range for something in something. Oh, it's just okay. There's literally a function called range. Okay, for I in range. How many tiles do we have? We have 223, 224. No, you want to do it by a row and column. So we actually have wait, there's a way to do it, right? Surely there's a way. So this one we have 16, right? We have 16 for every 16. If I mod 16 equals 0, then you print new line. Does print include a new line already? Do I just do this? And then print I, well, you just do I plus comma space. Print. I don't think you need the thing. No, okay. Okay, you gotta do string, of course. Obviously. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Is there a Python print without line? Print without new line? Have to print without new line. Welcome, Durga. Print n equals, okay. N equals this. Wow, okay, then you also want to add, you also want to make sure that you have left padding. Python, Python print with left padding. You gotta do print with the format, okay. You gotta do, okay, so you gotta be doing %0.3. Wait, L just, okay, it's just built in. .L just, R just, I want R just. Do I want R just or L just? R just. And then what, 4? 3? Is that what I want, 3? Yes. Yes, okay. It works. Oh, but then we need to also print out. No, that's fine. You know, we don't need that. You can simply just do this. And then do the same thing for the right side. Might as well use a format string, a left pad. Left pad, where did it even go? Am I right, guys? Okay, so here. And then you do it again. Imagine making this table in Google Sheets. It's not me. Okay, then you just do this. All right, device screen width is in GB/hardware, one of these two. All right, so then when you initialize the level, what do you do specifically? Load level. So when you do this, you hide sprites, you fade out. You fade in, show sprites. Right. Is that a Sakuya Izuyoi reference? It is not. It is not a reference. At all. Okay, so you gotta toggle interrupts false. We also need to set up this stuff, I believe, but we can figure that out later. Okay, so from here, basically what you gotta do is... Oh, at some point we also need to consider, like, different screens, you know? You gotta move left and right. And maybe if you exit a puzzle, it should lead you back to the same screen you were on. Choose which... what do I call it? Choose which... puzzle to start off on. Page. Which page? Alright, so that's fine. For now though, you just need to copy the background data. Right, you gotta initialize VRAM. You're gonna specifically copy level, select tile count. And then level, select, underscore, tiles. And then we see if this works. It's probably not going to compile because it never does that on the first try. Yep. Okay, so what failed? Fade out. Okay, I need to import something. You have to make sure that you import drawing.h to draw things. No such file, of course. It would never be that simple. Toggle interrupts. It's also not a function we have just yet, but it's fine. ROM is too large. Oh, frick. Okay, so now we need to consider Game Boy ROM banking. That's a thing. Because one, if you're familiar with the Game Boy specifically, is that they have multiple chips that they can store things on. So like a Game Boy might have like one chip for this, and then this can hold a certain amount of data, and then to switch the bank that you're pointing to, you have a second thing, and then you have like a chip that's here, and then it chooses which bank is loaded. How big is each bank? I don't know. Probably something. Whatever that is. NES had some weird bank switching setups. I didn't think I'd have to look into this like right now. Okay, well, I guess I have to figure this out because we have too many tiles to fit in one bank. But that's fine because every scene only needs its own bank, because this stuff is not going to be needed in the puzzle bank. This is only needed for level select, and we can simply switch it around. The question is, how do I do that? GBDK banking. GBDK has an auto banking functionality that I have to figure out how to use. Working with the banks. Banks, isn't that the graffiti artist? That's the guy who like graffitis things and people are like, yo, that's a real Banks. That's a real Banks graffiti. And then people take photos and all that. Exactly. Setting the ROM bank for a source file. Pragma bank. Pragma bank, yeah. Pragma. These. That's a Banks? Why? No, you're confused. It's definitely just Banks. Welcome, harpsichord enjoyer. Pragma bank. Okay. Ways to set ROM bank. Okay, let's do Pragma bank number. No. How do I do it? Pragma bank number. I have to pass compiler flags for this. I have to choose a cartridge type. No. Getting bank numbers. Okay, here we go. Bank number for a banked function. Can we use like auto banking? Non-banked. I think by default it's non-banked, right? By default, it goes on the default bank. But how do you do auto banking? There we go. ROM auto banking. A ROM bank auto assignment feature. To turn on, use the auto bank argument. Okay, Pragma bank 255. This sets temporary bank 55, which bank pack then updates when repacking. Alright, guys, we're doing this. Pragma banks. That's, I literally said that like 2 minutes ago. Can't believe this guy doesn't pay attention to every single second of my stream. It said Pragma D's. Okay, so we have banks, Pragma Bank. This is probably not going to compile. I assume. Because I have not passed the flag yet. ROM is too large. ROM is simply too large. Okay, so now I need to figure out. You gotta send Autobank as one of the flags. And to do that, what you gotta do is you gotta go update your Bazel setup. And by yours, I mean mine. It is my specific setup. You gotta set up your third-party toolchain. Specifically, your LCC toolchain. You must also add a feature flag, which applies specifically to, I don't know which step. C compile step, probably. Autobank. Like Basil Goose, I don't even know what that means. Okay, so flag groups is gonna be dash Autobank. And this will probably not work. Yes. Auto banking does not work with non-banked ROMs. Non-banked ROMs, okay. I have to choose the specific cartridge. Let me think. Non-bank cartridge. Cartridges with no MBC controller are non-banked. Recommended. We recommend MBC5. Okay, MBC5. How do I set that? How do I set MBC5? Okay, you do WMY, of course, obviously. WMYT0, okay. So MBC5. They recommend MBC5. But which one specifically? MBC5. Supports 8 megabytes. What if I don't need 8 megabytes though? And then you have to determine whether you need battery. Right, because battery is there. Battery is required. Battery is needed for save data. Imagine not having RAM. What the heck? I guess we're doing this one then. 0x1b. Battery. It is a prime. Okay, so you gotta set it at link stage. Link stage? That's like the you mean like Hyrule? Like Hyrule Castle? Okay, new feature is gonna be known as MBC5. So it's gotta be, it's only in the link stage that means it. And it's going to be WM this one. And then I should also link to this section. MBC type chart. Where do I find this? How do I, can I just like get the reference to this? H2, okay, we gotta have, it's gotta be this one. On cartridges which feature a rumble motor, bit 3 of the RAM bank registers connected to the rumble circuitry. I remember rumble. Anyone play Pokemon Pinball? That was fun. It's a fun game. Good game. Good game out there. Okay, let's see if this works. It's probably not going to work. Yep. Alright, what's wrong? Bank pack error. Failed to open drawing.o. Alright, what if I make this for both compile and link step? Should add rumble? No, it's not even gonna work. Rumble on Game Boy? Yes. Pokemon Pinball had rumble. Metroid Prime Pinball was surprisingly good as well. I had never played. Oh, it's compiling, guys? It's compiling? It has not compiled. Alright, what's wrong? Error. Linking failed. Linking failed. But why? Use sandbox debug to see verbose messages. Bank pack failed to open drawing.o. Why, though? This is also how I interact with Basil. Emulators can support rumble. It'd be kind of silly for picross. Yeah, but then, like, if I want to put this on a real cartridge, though, which I personally wouldn't do, but then someone might do it, then they would need rumble. Maybe. I don't know. Can I look up like a guide for this? Hold on. GBDK auto banking tutorial. I will play this on my analog pocket. Yeah, it's the perfect use case. Do we return to the ROM limit warning? I should probably run it with verbose failures. Verbose failures. Okay, what's wrong here? Failed executing something. Welcome Greffery. What is this? We got failed to open output file. Failed to open output file. Welcome Alt Chakar as well. Let me just read this. What is banking? How do I know if I need banking when there's an error? Okay, we got this stuff. Got the memory. Okay, every bank has 16 kilobytes. You're telling me my game is more than 16 kilobytes? What the frick, man? Can't believe this. Fix bank 0 is always active. It's important to put your universal or bank agnostic functions data into bank 0. True, true. You must enable memory banking. Number of ROM banks. Number of RAM banks. The MBC cartridge. Pretend we are running on Game Boy Pro. It doesn't exist. Okay, MBC5 is recommended. Switch ROM, macros work. Okay. Example. Okay, what do they got? You have to pass other flags as well. It's not just the one that I passed. You have to pass like 3 other ones. Is that true? How did they do it? What are the flags? You have to pass these. Number of banks. Number of RAM banks, ROM banks, and the cartridge type. I see. I assume that this thing would set these, but that's not true, I guess. You have to actually pass them separately. I'm just gonna copy this thing. You have to do a lot of tricks to make games fit. It's true. It is true. Alright, we have this thing here. What the heck was that? What is this? Settings menu? Comma, comma. So we're requesting 4 RAM banks and 4 ROM banks. I don't want that. That's like too many. Let's set it back to 2. This is probably also not going to work. Yep. Alright, what else do I do? Putting source code into memory banks. First way to do it was by this. Otherwise, you can do pragma bank. Okay. It has an auto banking feature. Banked and non-banked. Okay, so I want to put the drawing code in bank 0 because it should always be available. We're always using drawing functionality. Pragma bank 0. Same thing for input. You will always need input. And main is always going to be running, so we always need main to be available. And then level select and puzzle, they can be on different banks. These ones are using auto banking. When you declare and define functions, you can optionally add 1 or 2 keywords, banked and non-banked. If you are in a file that will be packed into a memory bank, by default, functions are bank local, meaning they are banked, cannot be accessed outside the given bank. If you add the bank keyword, it makes it accessible. Okay. That means if I need to call anything from main, I need it to be a banked function. Let's see. So then, okay, so for level select init has to be a banked function. And level select init as well. And then puzzle, we gotta have load level also must be banked. And also puzzle update must be banked. And then what? Call taxi a banked function? What does that mean? Do they have something to do with banks? You can force a function to be in bank 0 by using the non-banked keyword. Bank 0 only has 16 kilobytes. You should save it for critical things. Pitfall. Banked, non-banked header file mismatch. If a function is bank local, banked, or non-banked in its C implementation, it should be declared such in a matching header file declaration. Mismatching types can cause unforeseen problems. Okay, so I also need to set this here. And then same thing for level select. Okay. Accessing functions and constants in a different bank. To use functions in a different bank, you must switch to it. It's called bank switching. To switch ROM memory banks, you can simplify with the switch ROM macro. Okay, so you can switch it to point toward a different bank. I see. Switch ROM bank. So let's see. So in our main function, before we switch to this, we have to switch banks before we call it. Oh man, is there a thing that auto does this for me? They do. Oh shoot, they thought of everything. They've already implemented automatic bank switching, but only, okay, if you need to access constants inside another bank, it's fine. Manually switching banks in a banked function. If you call a switch ROM, it will interrupt execution. Use the wrong there, as long as they're not bank local. True. You won't get any compiler issues if you try it. Your game will just completely break. I love that about the Game Boy. You can just write to memory that you don't have access to, and it will just let you do it. I've done it. It's happened many times. Not restoring. Okay. Be aware which bank is active. Oh, current bank. Okay, auto banking. Here we go. You pass in the auto bank flag and the pragma bank. Unique bank ref gives you the actual bank number. Okay. So here you gotta do something. A separate file, use the matching bank ref extern macro to declare the externally banked data in a separate file. Bank ref, okay. You go here, you go to level select, you go up here, you do bank ref level select. Same thing for puzzle, bank ref puzzle. And then bank ref extern. And then you can switch by referencing that bank. Auto banking has the benefit of no cost and automatic rearranging banks. Did an asset grow too large to fit in bank 2? You don't have to go back and reorganize possibly multiple source files. It gets organized and updated automatically. Yo, that's crazy. How did they do that? Far pointers. Pointers to data outside an active bank will not work. If you need to point toward a constant and or function outside of the current bank, you need far pointers. There are pointers to objects in other banks. Far pointer has two parts. Do I need this? Is that a thing that I need? PNG to asset usage. Accepts argument B for banking. You can pass 255 for auto banking. Generated C files have a bank pragma directive. Bank refs will be generated. Okay, that's fine. I'm sure that if I try to run this, it's not gonna work still. Yep. Something else broke. What is this? Return type of function. This is not even code that I have. What is this? It's not even my code. Does bank ref need a semicolon? No. It doesn't. So why does that not work? Error token banked. Level select. Line 4. Level select.h. Line 4. Banked. Isn't that correct? Isn't that what it's supposed to look like? No, I have the auto bank flag. It's enabled. I guess it doesn't go here. How does this work? How do I define that a function in the header file should be banked? Or do I not need that? Is that perhaps not needed in the header file? Banked. What what do I do? Okay, what if I just banked function calls? Now I thought that you could just do this. But maybe that is not the case. Maybe in header files I just don't have it. Is that true? What if I search for .h? What if I search for header? Alright, let's just remove it from here and see if that does anything. Same thing for this one. What? Level select 4. Return type of function omitted, assuming int. Oh, the return type is void. The return type is literally void. So I don't know. I thought that's how it worked. Maybe there's another error. No, there isn't. Return type of function omitted, but it's not though. It's literally right there. That's the same thing. Wait, that's a different file. That's a different file. Guys, that's a different file. Imagine dealing with bank switching. I don't even know how to deal with it in regular code. What the heck, man? Return type of function omitted, assuming int. Is that not simply... What if I don't have these defined? Then what? Puzzle is here. Okay, what if I look at their example code? That's always useful, right? Example code. Welcome Sig Amigs. Source example in the Banks Autobank project. Banks. Auto banks. Example. Alright, where's the music? There it is. Alright, so they include source files. They have header files that have bank references. They have a non-banked constant. They have banked here. Okay, and then you look at the other files. Source file 1.h. So that's where they define bankref extern. We're not using that yet, so we don't need it yet. And then their function, wait, this is how I define mine. And it said it was wrong. I definitely had it like this, right? That's correct. Do I need to say which bank? Do I need, is that what I need? I need a thing that says which bank this thing's on. Bank ref extern load level. And then bank ref extern puzzle update. Bank ref extern makes a bank ref reference from another source file accessible for use with bank. Okay, and then you look at source file 1.c, and then that one has bank ref for their constant variable. They have bank ref for the function. So let's do let's go up here. Let's do bank ref. It's going to be puzzle update, bank ref load level, and then the same thing for a level select. So this is banked. You have the same thing for this one. Bank ref extern level select update. Bank ref extern level select init. And then you go here, you got bank ref level select init to level select update. And then what? And you have all this stuff. You got the bank thing, you got this thing, you got the pragma bank. Why not credit unions? I don't know. No one really even knows nowadays. Okay, let's try building. This is probably not going to build. Syntax error bank ref. Bank ref. That's cool. So we set auto bank to be enabled for all of these steps. What if I just enabled pre-process assemble? Is that where I need it? Is auto bank used for pre-process assemble? No. But what if I copied it for all of these? Just pass auto bank to every possible action. That is not the case. Also, you're so right. I should have hydrated 8 minutes ago. Alright. When basil makes you forget basic human needs. It's not really basil though. This is not specific to basil. This is specific to the Game Boy development toolchain. Basil is simply just a way to call that toolchain. Okay. What else is happening here? Return type of function omitted, assuming int. maybe I need to also, what if I just like pass this to everything, you know? Just have everything be passed everywhere. All of the possible action names. Okay, so that is not the issue. What is the compile error? Return type omitted assuming int in puzzle.c line 4. Bank ref. Wait a second. What? It's not even a function. What is that? Return type of function omitted assuming int. Line 4. Line 4. But that's not even a function. That's not even a function, guys. Wait, why do I have this? Wait, this shouldn't be here. Bank ref. So, okay, hold on. Bank ref extern. Okay, and then in source file 1.c, they have specifically bank ref. Oh, does this have to be directly above the function? I see, that's probably what it is. Probably have to put it right above the function. And then, oh, and then this, I feel like this is probably not needed, huh? I assume that this thing would give a reference. I guess this thing is giving a reference to the next thing that's defined, which is probably this thing. Okay, I get it now. So this is just like a thing that you should put above things that you want to have references. So they should be here. Is New York part of New England? I feel like we've talked about this at some point. I don't know, actually. I am not sure specifically. Yeah, I feel like this was asked, but I don't remember the answer. Okay, so you go here, and then you gotta make sure to put this thing above the function. This thing must also be above this function. And then level select .h. Does this thing need to be also above this function? No, this thing has to be below the function. And it is. It is below the function, but why is that not anything? Baseball team, I don't have one. I don't really know baseball. Okay, line 4. Line 4 is here. Syntax error, token banked. But that's the same as this thing, though. Welcome, kindergarten kid. Oh, you're so right. Oh, you're so right. You're so right. Do you know Game Boy? Thank you. Someone who knows maybe Game Boy development can tell me what I'm doing wrong. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay, so platform.h goes there. Finally. Okay, hold on. Unknown, unsupported pragma, bank 0. Is it lowercase bank? Did I copy something wrong? Hold on. They did this here. But are you telling me this is wrong? Bank 0. Unknown supported pragma directive. Auto variable may be used before declaration. Main.c. I think this is because I didn't include Let's see, that's fine. You're telling me. Okay, what went wrong this time? Compiled a bunch of stuff. Pragma probably needs to be under the includes. Is that true? Let me see how they did this here. Pragma. True, okay. Man, that's wacky. How did they even do this stuff? I keep loading the same file. Pragma. And, okay, this one needs to go down here. Let's just do it this way. So this one is here. This one's gotta be below. So we got puzzle.c. This is the C programming experience. No, this is, I feel like this is very specific to Game Boy. But I don't know, maybe it's maybe it is also C. Level select.c. This one's gotta be below this stuff. Okay. I sure am glad that someone knows what they're doing here. Because I certainly don't. Okay, what else? What else is happening? Sandbox debug. Verbose failures. Failed to open output file drawing.o. Is that true? What? What? Bank pack. Failed to open. Now this might be a Basil thing. This is standard C. The pragma is defined in an included header file, so it doesn't know what it means. Oh, I see. Man. Alright. So what am I doing wrong here? What am I doing differently from this? So make sure bankref is above the function. You make sure pragma bank is below the includes. Oh, did I not include platform.h in all of them? Do I need that in all of them? This one's definitely not here. And then I also don't have this here. I also don't have it here, probably. No. Okay. Does it normally give like a better error than this? This might be a Basil specific thing. So it's removing lcc20.lk. What is that? What is that? What if I did this? And then what is that? Remount read only Linux sandbox debug output for game.gb. Alright, that's probably not relevant. Okay, so it goes to this directory. And this is where it builds this stuff. So we got these ones. These are the includes that are available. These are our game objects. It should be there. We got our banner.o. We got, what can it not load? It said it can't load drawing.o. But it's right here. Why can it not load this? Drawing command.o. What if I go here and I just run the command manually? What's the, so you gotta do external / bin / LCC. Welcome Taffy. No, it's actually external / repo rules / bin / LCC. And then I gotta figure out which command to pass. This is the command that it's running. A very long command. Man, all right. So basically, you give it the input object files, which are all here. /object /game. _objects /game / whatever .o. Gotta also pass in these things. You gotta also pass in the output file, which is what? -o, right? -o, and then this. You want to write the game.gb to this. All right. So when I run that, we get undefined global level select init reference by main. It might be because that's also in one of the other directories that I did not include. We have this one here. We have, it's probably in like the 0. Yeah, okay, it's in these directories. Wait, what is this? Level select. Why do we have 2 of these? Level select.o, puzzle.o. Why are there 2? Are we not setting? Is it because it's in like a different directory? What's going on? It's in a scenes directory, which I think should not affect it. Probably. But that should be included. That is in fact here. So it should have access to it. If I specifically include it, by doing this, bin /objects /game.gb /0 /star.o puzzle tiles, undefined global puzzle tiles, referenced by module puzzle. The tiles are not available. Puzzle tag names are also unavailable. What else are we including? Puzzle.o object /1 /puzzle.o level select puzzle tiles. That one might be because I didn't import something. In level select.c. No, we have it. It should be there. Level select.h is referencing level select tiles. But where's the .o file for them? Where is any of these files? So we got banner.o, we got drawing.o, nonogram grid, sprite, level select. Oh, I see, because these have different, I have two things that have the same name. That's why they have two different directories. Because I have a puzzle file that is my source file, and then I have a puzzle file under the assets folder, which is also named puzzle. But that hasn't really been an issue so far, so I think that's probably not the issue. It's probably something else that's broken that I don't know. Oh, I probably just need to do, include the other one. So this one's going to be also basil out. Got this thing, we got bin, we got objects. Game.db/1/star.o. Okay, so that did something. What did it do exactly? Did it generate my output file? No. So something happened, but there's no error message. What if I did dash? No, we have dash v. It should have verbose errors. But it did not output anything. Wait, it output the game.ihx though. Isn't that... Wait. Isn't that what I need? Isn't it supposed to output their GB file? Oops. It was the wrong button. Okay, what if we take this one? We put it here, and then what if we just said we want to output it to temp, or temp directory? Game, it output it as game.ihx, despite the fact that I wanted a .gb file. It's weird. Is that normal? Does it normally do that? How do I have it not do that? Okay, but then now that the game.ihx is there, if I were to run this thing on that ihx file, it should have the GB file. Okay, that's the issue. ROM, why did it not show that to me? ROM is too large for number of banks specified. ROM is too large. So maybe I need more, because I did lower the number of ROMs, the ROM chips or whatever, because I was like, there's no way that I need this many. So that is set here. Welcome Pinched Boar 420. Jiggle skin please. This guy? Unfortunately, it's a static PNG, so I can't. Okay, what if I increase this to 4, right? What if it was actually 4? Maybe that's the issue. Well, it's compiling. It's probably not going to work. I knew it. It also failed, but let's try this again. You go back here. And then you run it with oh, I keep pressing the wrong thing. I've done it again. This. I'm going to try passing this as 4, and this one also set to 4. And then you run this thing. ROM is too large. ROM is too large. What if I just search for this? I gave permission. Why would I do that? ROM is too large. Hold on. Programs using more banks than you have configured in the toolchain. Either the MBC type was not set. The number of banks should be changed to provide more banks. Programs using more banks than I've configured. But I thought I did it. I thought I did it correctly. Is that not a thing? Maybe it's because the asset files are not using auto banking. Is that perhaps what it is? What if I do Bazel build, and then I see what this file looks like? So we have bank ref is here. It gives you a bank ref for this stuff. I think I need to put the pragma in this file as well? Is that true? Is that true? Can I check PNG to asset example? How does this thing do it? Okay, so it auto generates. It has, this one doesn't have the pragma on it though. I think this is also only needed. I'm not sure like what this is referring to. This creates a bank reference that has this thing. But like none of these things are saying that it's in this bank though. Like how does that work? Bank ref extern. So we do have the bank ref here, and then you do in font.h we have the bank ref extern is also there. But then like is that anything? Oh, but it, okay, so by default I think PNG to asset does not do bank reference. Right, it defaults to 0. Maybe that's my issue. Is that I need this thing to also do auto banking. But then I need to figure out what that looks like. You should pass 255 as the bank. Okay. That's fine. All right, what if I simply were to run this? Right, the file no longer exists, obviously. It's because I ran Bazel another time and it has deleted all of my directories. But what if I did this? Alright, let's go back. I was really not expecting to have to debug this stuff today. I was like, I don't have that many assets, right? It's not even that much. I guess this is kind of a lot. We do have this. We do have several puzzles. We do have several... Like, this is pretty large. We have 3 of these. One for every size. But is this really more than it can fit on one bank? It's crazy. Alright, let's try running this. Oops. That was the wrong thing. Anyone been to the bank recently? Alright, so let's run basil out slash this thing slash bin slash png to asset. We don't have that. It's actually external. External slash repo rules slash bin slash png to asset. Welcome Gravity Strider. It is in fact me. And then you want to find the file. So code slash gbdk example slash assets slash, oh, I don't have the PNGs, guys. No, I don't have dog.png. What do they pass? What are they passing here? You pass at the bank. Okay, so you want to pass bank 255 dash B 255. And then that's it. I just want to see what this looks like. 15 by 15 isn't an even multiple, bro. All right. Let's resize this one. Frame layer sprite size 16 by 16. Okay. So here we have, where did it put this file? Dog.h. Alright, so in their generated dog.h file, they include platform.h. After all the includes, they do bankref extern dog. But they don't do pragma. Where's their pragma? It's in the .c file, right? Wait, but someone said that the pragma had to be below the imports. That was not the case. I guess the bankref has to be below it. I don't really know about the pragma. It's time to ask the AI? No. I refuse. Okay, so I'm gonna go update my script. It also, I guess we also need to have the pragma here. That's great. All right. We know that we always want that to be there. So it's going to be, okay, so includes, we have this thing. Dog mention, exactly. All right, so at the start of the file, specifically the C file, you have pragma bank 255, new line. And then you have the includes. And then you have the bank ref. Bank ref is there, right? That's good. Pragma bank. Is that going to work though? Probably not. Why is it downloading Bazel? I literally just ran this. I'm in the wrong directory, that's what it was. That's why. Okay, this is something new though. We got a new error. Warning, right from one bank spans into the next. I think I might have too many things in this one file. I think the nonogram bottom is too large. This is it. So this one source file actually has all of this. It has all of this and all of this. I feel like then I need to split it into multiple files. And perhaps that is the issue. Maybe. But it's complaining about drawing.o though. Nonogram bottom is too large. I also considered that interpretation when I said it. I was hoping someone would not notice. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Okay, we got nonogram grid.o, linking game.gb failed. Drawing.c. Pragma bank. Is it because I said it should be in bank 0? What if I just said this was in bank 3 for no reason, just to see if we get a different error? You get the same error, despite the fact that drawing.o was not there. What do I do? What do we even do, though? Okay, so what if instead of having these all in one thing, we instead we separated them into multiple targets? So this was our original one. Instead of nonogram grid, we'll have nonogram bottom. I typed it wrong. Wait, but then it's going to separate them based on tag. I need these all in separate tags. Is that the thing? Nonogram bottom? Is this enough to fit on one bank? Probably, right? And then you have the rest of them. Nonogram decoration. I feel like these could fit together, right? These aren't that large. Nonogram grid is here. Yo, the gritty goose, nonogram gritty. Okay, then I just need to update this thing to also depend on this one. And then I need to update all my imports as well. I have to go to puzzle.c. You have to import nonogram grid and also nonogram bottom. It's probably not going to compile. Right from one bank spans into the next. Man. Alright, what do these errors warnings mean? You may have an overflow in one of your ROM banks. There is more data allocated to a bank than it can hold. It will spill over into the next bank. Common problem is when there's too much data in ROM 0, spills over into ROM 1. Make sure ROM 0 has 16K or less in it. When there's too much data in ROM 0, it spills over into ROM 1. Make sure ROM 0 has 16K or less. Okay, so that's cool. Pragma Bank 255. Drawing. So this one was set here. Input, I mean, I feel like this is not that much code. This one being in bank 0 is probably fine. This one is also like not that much code. Drawing though, does drawing... Like this isn't that much stuff, right? Surely. Do I have something that's not auto-banked that should be? Got input, we got this stuff. That stuff. Huh, man. Alright, this is where the development gets tricky. Because I don't know what to do here. Right from one bank spans into the next. Goes from bank 255. Isn't that auto bank though? You're telling me the thing that is auto banked wrote into the next bank that is too large? Auto bank. Auto bank. Wow. Truly engaging content. Auto bank. Where is my tab that had auto banking? Here it is. Alright, I gotta read this more closely. This is probably a thing that I should do off stream. But I do have 10 minutes left in the stream, so I guess you can watch me read documentation. Bank cartridges, they got this stuff. Got that stuff. These things, bank 0 size limit. Alright, bank 0 is always active. And then what? The really tough stuff. Alright, place the code for your ROM bank in one or more files. Specify the bank to use in source or compile link time. Specify number of banks. Alright. They're not specified. And these are used. You set this thing. Set that thing. Non-banked. Okay, oh, I've done that, right? Wait a second. WFBA, did I set that one? Or did I set WFYA? WFYA? WF, where did I set this? WL, wait a second. WM, sorry, that's right. No, that's fine. WLYO. Wait, why is this WL and not WM? Where did I get this from? What is this? This is at link time? What is M though? Did I do that wrong? Should this be WM? Nope. Alright, never mind. Do I even need these two? I probably do. Okay, but the same error occurs whether or not I have this. I think this thing should be in the link step as well. The link. Okay, but that is there. That's already there. Where did I get this from? I got this from this documentation. Wait, this one also uses WL instead of WM. I don't really know what the difference is. What does the M do? Oh, M is for make bin. But they're also available when using, okay. Does this mean they're the same? Are they the same? What does that mean? I guess they're the same. I don't know. They're also available using a make bin switch. What if I did this? What if they were all WM? Nope, that's the same thing. Alright, the generated ROM is too small. Then yo4 can be used. WM yo4. I did that. What if WM ya4? Ya. Alright, that doesn't work. Okay, so they got max ROM size. Max ROM size. For MBC1 and some banks use range. Additional RAM. Battery save. Banking functions. Non-banked is placed in the non-banked lower 16K region, regardless of bank. Yo, wait, what was the yo for? For something that ended up not working? Banked? Bank specifies the calling convention, not the actual bank itself. Okay, banked function calls. The limitations, const data declared as const will be stored in ROM. Data declared as const will be stored in ROM in the bank associated with its source file. If none is specified, it defaults to bank 0. Bank switching. Wrapper function for banked data. In order to load data from one bank from code running in another bank, a non-bank wrapper function can be used. It will save the current bank, switch to another bank, operate on some data, restore the original bank, and then return. Load data, I see. Set banked BKG data. You can call this from any bank. Currently active bank. Alright, auto so So it did set the auto bank function. It is using bank 255. Make a reference to store the bank number. More than one bank ref can be created. And the other source files you want to access from, do this stuff. Obtain the bank number. Switch ROM. Fixed bank source files can be used in the same project. Bank pack tool, pack the auto bank source files. Okay. Making sure bank pack checks all files. Correctly calculate the bank for all files every time. Use the exe flag. Save the auto banked output to a different extension. What? It's important because when BankPack assigns a bank for an auto banked file, it rewrites the bank. Will no longer see the file as one that needs to be auto banked. That file will remain in its previously assigned bank until source change allows blah blah blah. This is probably important. I just don't understand. In order to correctly calculate the bank for all files every time, use the ext flag. Save the auto banked output to a different extension. What? It's important because BankPack assigned the bank for auto banked, rewrites the bank. Alright, this section is probably important. Errors related to banking overflow. That's what I want. Bank overflow during compile link time is when more code is stored than it has capacity for. Okay. Address for overflow data will be incorrect. Data is potentially unreachable. See the FAQ entry. The current toolchain can only detect and warn. Cannot warn if it overflows into an empty one. Anyway, I guess I will, I probably will just end the stream because it is time to end the stream. I will commit this though to a work in progress branch. Just so that I have it available. Assets / level select. Why won't my bank overflow my account? Unfortunate. Git add source. Alright, so let's check out the whip. Git, it already exists. Git branch -d whip. I don't know if I wanted to do that. Git checkout, git status, git commit, attempt auto banking. Okay, well I guess I have a WIP branch. What do I have? I can probably delete that. github.com/wolfie/ this thing. What is in that branch? My work in progress branch from 2 weeks ago. Well, okay, git checkout. There's B auto bank. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, that's it. Really not a very productive stream today, but I did learn a little bit about auto banking. I have not figured out exactly what I'm doing wrong, but I'm sure I will eventually. But what if I never? What if I never figure it out? What if I never know? National Boyfriend Day. Has anyone said hi to their boyfriend? Buy British Day. Body Language Day. Unity Day. Manufacturing Day. I feel like none of these days is a good raid message. literally none of this makes sense. I don't know. World Smile. Let's do World Smile Day. World Smile Day raid. You can post your favorite smiling emote, whichever one that is. It could be mine, it could be someone else's. Alright, so I'm gonna raid someone. The question is who will I send you over to? Good question. Hamflow's freaking streaming. But I already raided him a month ago. I can't raid him again. It hasn't even been a month. What about this person? This person who I've never raided, who I can't click for some reason. Because the tab keeps scrolling. Alright, I'm gonna send you to Imamura Cross, who is doing something, I don't know. This person has a very cool overlay. I don't know if okay, they've just switched away from the overlay, but I'm sure you'll see it when we raid in. But that's gonna be it. I'll be back tomorrow with something. You might be like, but what though? What's tomorrow? I don't know. It's gonna be Variety Saturday Gaming. Yep, that's gonna be the stream tomorrow. We're gonna play various games. We are going to do crosswords and the other games that we play, I don't even know. The other ones. Anyway. Yeah. Now I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna wait for several seconds. It's gonna be so many seconds that you won't even know. You'll be like, what is this? It's been so many seconds. What the frick? How can it be this many seconds? He's just stalling now for what? What is he even stalling for? What is bro even doing? Second, exactly. Anyway, the raid's going. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.